Hello YouTube, this is PokeZonne101 and I have a Wi-Fi battle here, 5th gen, against TheWizhBone, who is semi-famous I think, and it was on his stream, and here we go. Knowing TheWizhBone, he's definitely going to have a Uxie, and it's actually a lead Uxie, and it just so happens to be a dual screen Uxie too, and so I lead with Drill Bit, predicting the Uxie, and then I get the Mega Horn off, but he does reflect, which, kind of ruins the whole Mega Horn, because it's not going to do as much. And so he U-turns out, maybe predicting the Caesar switch, maybe not, I don't even know. And goes into Rotom Heat Form, I think that's called. And I do predict the Volt switch, or the Fire move, whatever you want to have me predict, and he goes, and then he switches out and goes into Registeel. I do Stone Edge, being kind of safe, even though it didn't really do anything, but whatever. And so he gets a kind of a free Toxic off, but I do get the Earthquake, and that also won't do as much because he's under the screen. But that doesn't really matter because that still does a lot for a defensive, a more defensive than an attacking poke. And I do predict the Iron Head, and he does definitely go for the Iron Head, and I go into Vulcan. He's definitely going to want to switch, and I actually misclicked here. I went to go for Flare Blitz, but I chose Hammer Arm. So maybe Flare Blitz wouldn't have done as much as the Hammer Arm, I don't really know. And so he tricks, which I'd rather get the trick on my Gyarados, even though now I do have 3 Scarf pokes on the field. Not on the field, but in my team. But Scarf Gyarados is really good. And if this is bad narration, it's in the morning, so that's why. And so he switches into Troy, or Registeel, and on the stream, I think he was wondering why I kept going for Waterfall, and it was because he tricked me as Scarf. Just so he knows. And so he yawns me after it has 2 hit points left, and so that forces me to switch out, and I go in with my Caesar after he switches out into Registeel again. And so I guess I kind of do have the advantage a little bit because I can Superpower, and that will do quite a bit considering that it is a Registeel with screens. I think the screens are still up. But he does T-Wave me, and I think I get the Para-Hack. That's why I didn't kill him yet. And he gets leftovers recovery and then rests. And so, that just ruins my Caesar because it's paralyzed slower. And it's at -1 attack and -1 defense, or -2 attack and -2 defense. I don't really care. And, because it is Choice Bandit, that superpower still does quite a bit. And so, probably predicting the superpower, he goes into Mismagius, but I switch out into my Vulcan or Darmanitan. I was thinking he Daruma for a second. And I do Flare Blitz. Sorry, I thought that was at half health. That will be able to kill it because it is fodder. And so I definitely want to switch out after he sends in the slow poke, slow bro, slow king, whatever. But I do get paralyzed, which I probably would have gotten the U-turn off if I didn't get paralyzed, and I would have been out of there. But it's the game for you. And so I go into Frozone, kind of just wanting to use the Pokemon. And I substitute, not wondering, but thinking what he's going to do. And he T-Waves me, so he has 2 T-Waving Pokemon. And luckily I went to the sub, even though I didn't predict the T-Wave. It still was pretty cool. And he was wondering why the flamethrower didn't, what am I gonna say? He was wondering why the flamethrower didn't break the sub, and it was because I am part dragon, so I do semi-resist it, and like it's semi-super effective, so it's kind of normal. And then the substitute does fade, but another Draco will definitely take it out. But to put another spin on things, he switches. And I Draco Meteor, and if you didn't know that this is a white herb Frozone, so yeah. And then I think it's stupid to have the white herb only work like one time. It should work more than one time. Just saying. And so I switch into Vulcan as he switches into Mismagius again. So this is the second time that we've been in this situation, and I just Flare Blitz, knowing that it will take that thing out. Mismagius. Sorry, I forgot the name. And it was kind of a risky play for him because like the Shadow Ball would have done like half health, and because I was lower than half health, and the Flare Blitz would have taken it out, so I wouldn't have done that, but it's to get my Darmanitan, which is probably the biggest threat on my team, out of the way, maybe? I don't know. So he switches, sorry, I just missed that little part, but he switches into Troy, which is asleep, and then I switch into Drillbit, or as I switch into Drillbit, and I get toxic damage, and he's still asleep. I do Earthquake, and the screen probably went, yeah, the screen went away some time ago. And he gets lefties back, but that still won't do anything because a Stone Edge will take it out. And I was kind of doing the safe move just in case if he switched into Rotom, but nope, that was his fodder, I guess. And so he switches into Ray Ray. I just kind of wanted to sack this thing and use the Mega Horn. But the Mega Horn actually takes it out, which probably wouldn't have because I was under the screen. And so he switches into the Rotom Heat form, and I did not predict this at all because it's kind of hard to predict the hidden powers. Hidden power, I'm going to guess Grass, because that's like the only logical hidden power that there is for this thing. Well, that would have taken me out, or would have done damage to me or something. So I go into my Gyarados, and with the Scarf it will outspeed, and I get the Moxie boost because it takes it out, and I kind of want to change it to Scarf now because Scarf is really good. But anyway, he goes into his last Pokemon, which is a Heracross, and he does the Rock Slide, and that almost takes me out, but not quite. And I kill him off with a Waterfall. Great game, Wishbone. I'd love to battle you again. Your link will be in the description, and bye!